Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our first of three medical cannabis program town hall meetings. As you know, tonight, March 19th, marks the first. March 25th will be our second at 12 p.m., and March 26th will be the last one at 6 p.m. So I'm going to speak with you very briefly. If we can go to the next slide, we're going to cover just a few things, and then we are going to be off to the races. We cannot wait to hear from you, the public, from patients, from stakeholders about how we can continue to improve our medical cannabis program. So some of the things coming in the future are the clinical registrant, a review board that will be able to allow patients petitions for medical conditions, a reference lab and review of medicinal rules, which is why we are here today. And we want to hear from patients, caregivers, and healthcare professionals about their experiences with the program. And as you know, for those of you that have been on our registration page, you can also submit written comments as well. And we are receiving those, and we are running through those and reading and reviewing those. But we did want to go over some of the top few questions that we did have and review some things that are not or are within the CRC's purview. So one of the top few questions that we got is, can the New Jersey CRC force an ATC to limit the cost of cannabis products for medicinal patients? The New Jersey CRC does not regulate the pricing of cannabis products or sets tax rates. Each business determines those on their own. Another popular question is, when will the CRC allow delivery options for patients that cannot pick up their medicine? All medical and recreational dispensaries have the option to offer delivery services. Additionally, there are cannabis delivery license holders and awardees, and you can find licensed dispensaries and delivery services available by using our dispensary finder. Can I be enrolled in the medicinal cannabis program and hold a firearm? This is outside of New Jersey CRC's purview. When we ask that you contact your local police department to determine what regulations or requirements must be met in order to receive permits for firearms. And the number one, when will the CRC allow for homegrown? The CRC does not have any legislation that allows us to create the homegrown program here in the state. And so we urge you to contact your legislators about that piece of legislation. Next slide. Oh, we are on the slide I need. Here we go. The highest number of patients was under 130,000 in 2022, and about 5,000 caregivers and almost 1,400 providers. As of February 2025, the program has about 68,000 patients enrolled and just about 4,400 caregivers, and an increase of healthcare providers to just over 1,500 providers. And it is not uncommon for states who had an established medicinal market before an adult use market to not have seen a decline in patient numbers. But that does not prevent or distress our efforts to do everything in our purview to increase the number of active patients in the medicinal cannabis program. Next slide. Active patients by regions, 41% of our patients are in central New Jersey, 32% are in South Jersey, and 27% are in North Jersey. We have over 15 dispensaries serving medical patients in Central, South, and North Jersey. Licensed dispensaries serving medical patients are as follows. That's 20 in Central, 18 in South, and 15 in the North. Bergen County currently has the most registered healthcare providers in the program with 223. Essex County has 157 providers, and Monmouth has 151. So as you know, this isn't our first time and won't be the last time that we hear from patients. We continue to have ongoing conversations with our patients through customer service, at our board meetings on occasion. But we have heard the following reasons for leaving the program. It is high healthcare provider fees for authorization, the high cost of buying legally, and then no medical dispensaries nearby. And while some of these challenges of the program are outside of our purview, we have been doing what we can within the law to facilitate access for medicine for patients. ATC show, when we started the market, in order for them to expand into the adult use market, had to show patient service and supply would not be diminished before they were allowed to expand into the recreational market. We hold MCP participating dispensaries to commitments to patients. That includes patients' rights. That also includes patient-only parking, exclusive parking options for patients and caregivers, patient-only checkout lines, exclusive lines and checkout for patients and caregivers during all operating hours, reserved authorized product, the ability to reserve products in advance to ensure product availability, to ensure the safety and quality of products. Medicinal cannabis patients can request a certificate of analysis, lab test results for any cannabis product they purchase. And patient-only hours. In December of 2024, the New Jersey CRC Board approved a rule waiver requiring ATCs to hold patient-only hours due to low customer demand. But across our program, at least 14 hours are spread over at least 3 days, including Saturday and Sunday for patient-only hours. Next slide. So over the years, as many of you know, since the very beginning, we've been doing everything that we can to cut costs where we can within our purview. So that is a change in registration fees over the years. In 2012, some of you that have been with us from the very beginning when we were at the Department of Health, a registration card was $200. In 2018, it went down to $100. In 2022, the CRC eliminated sales tax. And in 2023, our card went down to $10. And currently today in 2024, as of 2024, last year, with the rollout of our free digital cards, you can still request a $10 physical card upon request. We do want to continue to monitor sales by product category. So in the blue, we decided to put this neat data together. These are sales data numbers from January 1 to February 1, I believe, yes. And so February of 2025, so 2023, 2024, and 2025. And so as of this point of the year, February 1st, you will see those in blue. February of 2024, at this time last year, those were sales in yellow. And in February 2023, those were sales in green. And so we'll be sharing this out, but this is just a good way to indicate where medical patients are spending their dollars. Obviously, as you can see, bud and flower still remains the highest product sold to, the highest products medicinal patients are purchasing, followed by vape carts, and then after that, edibles. Next slide. And as we predicted, as more dispensaries open up, the market sees more competition and prices are inching down. The average cost of flower for medicinal patients has decreased each year since legalization of recreational cannabis. And so in 2023, we saw $11.75 per gram. In 2024, we saw $10.48 per gram. And in 2025, we're seeing an average of $9.29 per gram. Next slide. There we go. So I am going to turn this back over to our wonderful and capable communications team, and a special shout out to them for putting all of this together. The agency is really, really keen on making sure that we continue to hear from our patients, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. So I'll turn this over to our communications team for instructions for our registered speakers tonight. Thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. We are so happy to be here to hear from our patients and our community today. As the screen says, 3 minutes per speaker. To raise your hand, it's *9. To unmute, it's *6. I know I don't have to tell everybody to be respectful because that is our crowd. Everybody's going to be respectful. During the times when I'm calling out the names, there'll be 5 at a time. I will call your names, raise your hands, and 5 at a time. If you are here, raise your hand and I will call on you. And while we're doing that, we want to hear a little bit more about your experiences. So we're going to be deploying a couple of surveys, like the polls, like the one that's on your screen right now. Please weigh in, and all of the information that you share tonight, whether in public comment or by participating in the poll, will inform how we can serve you better. All right, first 5 names: Taylor Godfrey, Jeff King, Carlito Nalberto, Nancy Vitello, and Paul Zamore. That is Taylor J. Godfrey, Jeff King, Carlito Nalberto, Nancy Vitello, and Paul Zamore. If any of these individuals are present, please raise your hands and I will call for you to unmute. None of those are, I don't see any hand raised. Jeff King, thank you. Jeff, go ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. My name is Jeffrey King. I live in Eatontown, New Jersey. Just wanted to emphasize that wheelchair access at all of the dispensaries is really important. Like good quality parking is appreciated and the access with the wheelchair. I know that you're working hard on that kind of thing, so I appreciate your attention to that. I don't know whether or not if I go to the hospital, if my medical cannabis is going to be okay or not. And I just want you to think about that. And I heard very clearly our host tell us that home grow is something for our legislators. And I know that the old chair said that they should do their due diligence. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that we appreciate you encouraging patients to hold the legislators accountable for home grow. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Have a good evening. Taylor Godfrey, Carlito Nalberto, Nancy Vitello, Paul Zamore. None of those people are present, so I will go to the next 5. Mike Burry, Corey Jordan, Peter Cassidy Sabrian, Nicole Chudley. Any of those people are present, please raise your hand. Mike Burry, Corey Jordan, John Cartaneja, Peter Cassidy Sabrian, Nicole Chudley. Okay, I'm going to start with Mike Burry. Mike, go ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Great. Hi, my name is Mike Burry, and I'm a union organizer with the United Food and Commercial Workers, and I'm a medical cannabis patient here in New Jersey. The UFCW, or an international labor union, which represents 1.4 million hardworking families around the world, and we're proud to represent over 1,000 cannabis workers here in the Garden State. First, we'd like to commend the state of New Jersey for increasing access and lowering costs for the medical program. By adding more qualifying conditions and creating free digital cards, our state has attempted to expand access to more walks of life. However, despite the well-intentioned efforts of the CRC, participation in the program is dwindling. New Jersey once enjoyed 120,000 card-carrying patients, but now that number has been reduced by nearly 50%. There are only a handful of dedicated medical dispensaries left open for business, several of whom are in the process of transitioning to adult use. If the CRC and the legislature do not make reforms, then the medical cannabis program is in serious jeopardy. In order to save medical cannabis, we offer these suggestions to incentivize patients remaining in the program. First, ensure that medical cannabis is truly of medical quality. Patients deserve tighter oversight over cultivation sites to ensure the health and safety of the plants and the workers alike. With federal agencies such as OSHA on the endangered species list, our state needs to step up and ensure that these sites remain uncontaminated by mold, powdery mildew, harmful chemicals, and unsafe working conditions. Patients' rights are workers' rights, and both deserve the best protections. Remember, any harms that befall the workers in these sites will ultimately find its way back into the medicine as well. Only safe workers can produce safe medicine. Another common complaint amongst patients is how New Jersey lags behind our peers in terms of potency and quality. THC concentration is capped at 100 milligrams per package, forcing many patients to engage with the legacy market. The recent Safe Leaf report has exposed mold to be rampant and THC levels to be erroneous. If New Jersey insists on charging a premium price for cannabis, it should be of premium quality. Furthermore, we're thankful for the CRC's recent efforts to open our state's first on-site consumption lounges. We hope these lounges will serve as safe spaces for medical cannabis patients and advocates to enjoy themselves socially after decades of prohibition. We implore the CRC to go a step further and prioritize medical patient access. Patients deserve free entry, and they need the right to bring their own medicine for consumption. Also, every dispensary should be able to open their own lounge so patients will have the maximum amount of safe spaces to consume across the state.
Thank you.
Lastly, oh, sorry.
You can finish
Am
your
I out?
statement. You're at your minute.
Okay.
You're 3 minutes, but go ahead.
Uh,
Finish your statement.
Lastly, we believe the best way to save medical cannabis in New Jersey would be by convincing the legislature to adopt a home grow program. To reiterate what Wesley said earlier, this is outside the purview of the CRC, so I encourage everyone on this call to pressure your representatives. Multiple candidates for governor have come out in favor of home grow, so now is the time to keep organizing and agitating. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike. Corey J., you're up next. Corey, go ahead.
Good afternoon. Good evening, actually. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you fine. Go ahead, Corey.
All right. So first of all, my name is Corey Jordan. I am a IPM specialist and field manager in the pest control industry. And I did want to touch base with you guys about the recent safety concerns that NEN test that did just pass. So I did want to just talk about I just want to make sure that the product itself is that we're ensuring that the safety and the quality of the cannabis products is paramount, and we must take concrete steps to prevent such issues in the future. And as an IPM specialist myself, I do believe that more rigorous inspections are necessary to uphold the highest standards of safety and quality in cannabis cultivation. Regular and thorough inspections can identify potential issues early and ensure that all cultivation centers adhere to best practices. By implementing stricter inspection protocols, we can significantly reduce the risk of safety test failures and protect public health. Another critical issue is pay rate for IPM specialists in cultivation centers. I know I did see for Curaleaf, they were pretty low when I saw postings for IPM specialists. I know that the compensation for some of these specialists is not commensurate with the level of expertise and responsibility required for the role. The inadequate pay rate makes it challenging to attract and retain skilled professionals who can ensure the highest standards of pest management and plant health. With that being said, it is unlikely that we can attract individuals with the necessary skills and experience to perform effectively in this role. The small amount offered does not reflect the critical nature of the work. And to improve the overall quality of the cultivation operations, we must offer competitive salaries that reflect the value of expertise in IPM specialists. In conclusion, I urge the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission to consider implementing more rigorous inspection protocols to address the issue in inadequate pay for IPM specialists. By taking these steps, we can enhance the safety and quality of cannabis products and ensure the sustainability and success of our industry. Thank you for your time and attention. And I'm sorry, guys, I was kind of caught off guard a little bit. I was multitasking a little bit, but I do have, a lot of experience with this, in universities, as well as museums and stuff like that. There are a ton of approaches that can be done to ensure that this doesn't happen. Believe it or not, mold does fall under the category of pest control as well. Pest control should have caught some of this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Corey. I'm going to read that section again. John Cartagena, Peter Cassidy Sabrian, Nicole Chudley. If any of those people are on the meeting, please raise your hands. I don't see any hands. Ryan Shadaman, William Sosis, Oliver Lloyd, Dennis Polson, Evelys Martin. Evelys Martin, Dennis Polson, Oliver Lloyd, William Sosis, or Ryan Shadaman. Also, when you see those polls pop up, please participate so we get to know what your experience has been, and all we are trying to do is make this program better for all our patients. I don't see any of those 5 here, so I'll go to the next 5. Chester Gillio, James Farron, Drew Arvery, Adrian Spano Miller, Jill McDivitt. Again, that's Chester Gillio, James Farron, Drew Arvery, Adrian Spano Miller, and Jill McDivitt. I see Dennis from the earlier set. Dennis, go ahead.
I think all the points were pretty much made clear by some of the previous speakers, and I would like to say thank you for the, clear points they made. And as a person with cancer twice, 9 herniated discs, 2 tears in my hip, it has been a challenge for the medical program. I mean, you had these places closed down like Harmony. Garden State was bought out, basically leaving breakwater. Not many options. And on top of that, the townships ban certain places, making it, an extra trip for me to travel as well. I know that's not your place, but these are the issues that patients are having. And another issue is with the card's relevance. All these dispensaries are recreational now, not giving any benefit for the card, making the card pretty much irrelevant. And the extra cost, the cannabis specific doctor, finding that is a challenge and adds an extra cost as well for the patient like myself, who already are affected by costs of healthcare. So I'm just very upset. I mean, it's still a felony for one plant, but sales are at $2 billion though. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, Dennis. James? James, I'm assuming this is
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
James Farron? Yes. James, go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Everybody definitely made some good points, but my main concern was with the guy that just spoke. As far as people who can't get it, I feel as though the dispensary should have some type of like delivery service to be able to get to them. And besides that, as far as the medical patients go, it's such of a big rush. Like New Jersey, everybody's rushing. The growers are growing fast, and they're not really checking on the quality of what they're sending. They're just sending it out. I guess like I don't know, like they're getting moldy and they're getting mites to them. So I think as far as medical patients, we should be more educated at the dispensaries, and they should be handing out a lot of pamphlets to get us prepared to start growing our own medical marijuana. Because I mean I've grown medical marijuana myself. I feel as though if they can medical marijuana in their own household and know how to keep it clean, keep it safe, and not dust get into it, and be able to put up some tents in their own house and be able to grow their medicine, it gives the state of New Jersey their time to grow the product right, because there won't be a lot of people rushing in to try to get it. Because the more people that rush in to try to get the medicine, the more the growers are going to try to rush it out and not take their time to cure it and make sure they're changing the dirt and not trying to clone it. Like I feel as though they clone it too much and they're using like a lot of harmful chemicals just to try to rush, because it's a rush thing, because they're worrying about it's a high demand right now, and I feel as though a lot of people are just using it just to use it and not using it for medical purposes, like people who actually need it. So I think that the Jersey would do a lot. They would do a whole lot better allowing the medical patients to grow the medical marijuana for themselves, and it could be a whole lot cleaner with them giving us the education on how to do it, because it's not really that hard to do on your own. It just takes time. It's like growing any fruit or vegetable out here in the world. So You do it yourself. It's always gonna be better because you're gonna make sure that your medicine is up to par. And if you mess up, you can always go to the dispensary and get what you can get. But as far as the growing goes in New Jersey, I think the medical marijuana should be grown differently. And if they rush it out, give it to the recreational people, because I just seen an article today about the molds and stuff that's in the cannabis, and that usually comes from neglect, like
Thank you
rushing.
so much, James. We really appreciate your comments. So I wanted to say a couple of things. Um, we carry out, I saw the article you did too, and I wanted to say that the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission's Department of Compliance and Investigations carries out inspections very regularly, and we investigate every complaint. We are looking into those complaints mentioned in that article you talked about. We can't provide guidance on growing since the state still says that's legal, and that's a legislative matter, and we can't weigh in there. But thank you so much. Also, we wanted to mention that if you go to a dispensary and you wanted to find out about the testing results of the product, the flower or product you bought, you have the right to request a certificate of analysis.
Okay.
Also, if you have a complaint, there is a form that you can fill out that will provide you with information that will allow you to submit a complaint about a facility that if you have a problem with a product.
Okay. Yeah, I've been
All right.
around since the beginning, so yeah, I just think it's better for the patients to be able to grow their own medicine. It'd be easier. It'd take less stress off for the cultivators that are actually doing it for the dispensaries, and it'll allow them to produce better quality marijuana at the same time.
Okay. Thank you, James, so much for your time.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move to the next 5. Stanley Miranda, Robert Krause, Susanna Chamorro, Ira Patrick Buckberger, Christiana Frankel. So that's Stanley Miranda, Robert Krause, Susanna Chamorro, Ira Patrick Butchberger, and Christiana Frankel. Are any of those people present? I see a IPB. That name does not match. I'm going to allow you to speak. Can you please state your name for the record, IPB?
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
So this is Ira Patrick Buckberger.
Okay, go ahead, Ira.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me time. I did want to ask a question that around homegrown medical marijuana. Should it become legal in New Jersey? And it's about time because there's 19 states and District of Columbia that do allow homegrown medical marijuana. Will New Jersey CRC help the patients know how to safely grow and how to safely source seeds and any other guidance around safely growing marijuana for medical use?
Hi, as we mentioned earlier, the CREAM Act as it is currently does not allow the Cannabis Regulatory Commission to allow for safe grow. Safe grow is still illegal in New Jersey. So no,
But
we can't
I
provide
completely
guidance.
understand. Once when that changes, where will patients find information, reliable information on how to safely source and grow marijuana for? Is that something that will be through New Jersey Medical Marijuana Program? Is it a service that the state is planning to provide to medical patients? The guidance around legally growth once it becomes legal.
Well, since we don't have any information on when that will change, I cannot answer that question, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ira.
Thank you.
Okay, Christiana Frankel, Susanna Chamorro, Robert Kraus, Stanley Miranda. Okay, I will move to the next 5. Scott Fisher, Peter Joseph Stiggy, Diane Sibilia, Amy Groom, Calvin Riggins. That is Calvin Riggins, Amy Groom, Diane Sibilia, Peter Joseph Stiggy, and Scott Fisher. Are any of those present? I don't see any of those people, so I'm going to move to the next one. Ryan Shadaman, John Perry, Brian Schaefer, Rihanna Runge, Amy Hopper, Bob S. Ryan Shadaman, John Perry, Brian Schaefer, Rihanna Runge, and Bob S. I see Brian Schaefer. Brian, go ahead. Brian, you're up.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. Go right ahead.
Let me just make sure that this is working. Yeah, I'm a provider in Central Jersey. And the one thing that I would like to say is that what I've noticed is they have that rule that goes, a person can basically have somebody sign on for medical cannabis for 1 year. Now, if I'm doing my job properly, most of the patients that come into me, they really don't know what they're doing. So if you tell them, okay, you sign up for a year and that's it, you're not really acting properly as a physician. They need guidance. They need to be told what to do. I mean, I go over with them a lot with dosing, various strains, combinations of various strains, mixing with CBD and all that. And so I feel that the service that I provide them, and after they've been with me, they understand that whole thing. But when somebody goes to the dispensary and the person at the dispensary says, "Oh, you don't need to go back to Dr. Schaefer. I could just give you this and you can have somebody sign you up for a year." I really don't think that is helping, a majority of the patients that I am seeing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Schaefer. Thank you so much for participating in the program. We know that we do not have enough providers. And to your comments, a lot of our providers are asking for more information to be as helpful to their patients as you are. Thank you so much for your comments.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to go with the next 5. Yolanda Barnes, Murray Mickelberg, John Velezquez, Brenda Wheeler, Karen Lynn McCroy. Bill registered twice. Let's see if Bill's here. Bill Sosis, William Sosis, Yolanda Barnes, Murray Mickelberg, John Velezquez, Brenda Wheeler, Karen Lynn McCroy, and William Sosis. Are any of those individuals here? I see Murray Mickelberg. Murray, go ahead.
Yes. I'm a little bit concerned about one supplier that I've purchased a lot of their product. I won't mention their name, but I just noticed in the jar that it came in the mention of a component called Insect Annihilator. and it's in flour, and I cook with flour in some of my food. And I'm just really wondering at this point, is it safe to eat this stuff or even smoke or vaporize? This insect annihilator sounds like something, maybe it's going to annihilate me. So I just wonder, is there any information about particularly that stuff? It's called insect annihilator, and it's listed in the everything that's in the strain. All the cannabinoids, the terpenes, it's all there. And then near the bottom is insect annihilator. So I wonder if anybody knows what that's about.
Marie, I'm gonna have somebody send you a message and get your contact information, because we do not have that information readily available, but we would like to follow up and provide you with as much information as we can. So
Okay.
look out for a .crc.njov reaching out to you. That's Murray Mickelberg. Somebody will reach out to you for contact information to follow up with you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Murray, for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go to the next 5. James Farron, Eileen Kaplan, Jagdish Mystery, Jagdish Mystery, Mario Gutierrez, Shane Collins II, Donnie Adelman. That's James Farron, Eileen Kaplan, Jagdish Mystery, Mario Gutierrez, Shane Collins, and Donnie Adelman. And that's actually 6 people, but the more the merrier. James Farron, go ahead.
Yes, hello. I already won. Is it okay if I go again?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did you register twice? I'm sorry. Did I call your name twice? My
Yeah,
apologies.
that's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So Eileen Kaplan, Jagdish Mystery, Maria Gutierrez, Shane Collins II, Donnie Adelman. Are any of those people present? I see Donnie. Nope. I saw Donnie and then Donnie disappeared. Go ahead, Donnie.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to take this from a different outlook. Number one, I've been saying since day one, because I've been a patient since basically 2012, that the testing standards have been way off. And this report, I'd like to say, is eye-opening, but well, the CRC or the Department of Health, whatever manifestation of the agencies has been in, they've known about this since day one, and nothing's been done. Now, the other part of it is that the CRC, acting as the regulatory agency for cannabis, it seems to be more of a lobbying group for the dispensaries, whether they're recreational or medical. I was assaulted right before Christmas at Zenleaf up in Neptune. I called in to register a complaint, and even after confirmation of it being the vicious, unprovoked assault that I claimed that it was, um, I don't know what's being done with it, number one. Number two, I don't think whatever is or would be done with it is enough, because the dispensaries obviously don't care. They're faking numbers, and they're going through and they're having their security assault patients and telling the police that the police have no right to the film due to HIPAA, but yet want to sit there and show the second a patient gets out of line, does anything they don't like, they have no problem showing the police. That shows that the CRC is lacking any and all teeth to do its job and does not have patients' best interest in mind. And I'd like to know why. I'd like to know what could be done, because the nature of the assault started with a consumer issue. The Department of Consumer Affairs refuses to do anything because it is cannabis, whether it's adult use or medical or otherwise. They refuse to take any complaints with it. So you don't have that issue. You don't have that avenue of relief. And the judge in Neptune basically has come out and said that they will not do anything to their cash cow known as Zen Leaf. So I don't have the recourse of even pressing criminal charges against these people because the towns won't accept it. So that being said, what can the CRC do for me? Because their own investigators sent me a letter saying that yes, it was a vicious, unprovoked attack, and that was about 2 months ago, and that's about where it was left. Nothing that was involved with this should take that long. And them sending them a letter saying, "Hey, well, you didn't call us when you dialed 911 or when the police came. Yes, it's a violation, but it's not enough." All right. They emphatically refused to work with law enforcement against the spirit of Kuma because of the fact that had they done their job and or showed the police what happened, that the security guards would have both been arrested and they would have had to close a day before a major holiday, and nothing is being done about it. And it's great that we're having this kumbaya, but let's talk turkey and really protect the patients. We have this thing where patients are being assaulted like me, but for to sit there and have to say that this report is that came out with the medicine itself is something new. Sorry, you can't make that claim and nothing's been done. So maybe instead of telling us that you can't work with home grow and everything else, I understand the legislative portion of what and why you're saying that. But the few things that you do have the purview over, especially knowing that other agencies that could and should be involved refuse to get involved. Sorry, I need the hammers of hell coming down on Zenleaf should have already happened. They should have been closed. I know you're probably not going to close them permanently, but if you close them for a week and find them, maybe the next guy won't be assaulted. You know, it
Donnie,
wasn't. Yeah.
Donnie, have you filled out an official complaint form? We have the information up on the website. I
Yes,
will
I
tell
have.
you that
Yep.
CRC does not have criminal enforcement powers. But if there is something that is outside of regulations for cannabis business, that we will act on that. I'm gonna.
I certainly did fill out the form, and I spoke with one of the customer service reps in regards to it, and then I spoke to one of the investigators about it. It's I understand that you don't have the law enforcement capabilities of it, but knowing the fact that law enforcement refuses to get involved. And knowing the fact that that consumer affairs refused to get involved over the consumer fraud portion that started all this, there shouldn't be any delay. There shouldn't be any of me asking what's going on and not getting a return email. It's just for lack of a better term, you took the complaint and then it was dropped. I don't know that to be true, but since no one's gotten back to me, it's just been dropped, and Zenleaf is sitting there making millions of dollars a week out of that location, and no one's safe. When their guards are literally telling people that they've been looking for somebody hurt, and I'm a disabled patient who walks around on crutches, and they come up and they choke slam me from behind. It shouldn't take 4 months for nothing to happen. It just shouldn't. I don't know if the
Donnie
board
will
know.
weigh in that we will look into this, but we can,
Okay.
and if there is a further action that the CRC can take, we will be in touch. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Okay. Eileen Kaplan. Jagdish Mystery, Maria Gutierrez, Shane Collins II, Donnie Alderman. Okay, I'll move to the next group. Stacy Zarnath Bluestein, Mia Rockesano, Angela Dario, Smrita Chubi, Adnan Malik. That is Stacy Zarnot Bluestein, Mia Rakisano, Angela Dorio, Smrita Chubi, and Adnan Malik. Are any of those people present? A reminder, it is *9 to raise your hand, and to unmute, it's *6. If you are on your mobile phone, if you are on your computer, the raise hand is at the bottom, and when you're asked to unmute, you just click that button. Okay, I don't see any of those folks. I'm going to go to the next 5. Kelly Burrows, Stephen Clark Jr., Laureen Chesness, Leanne Kane, Nicholas Lamonaco. Kelly Burrows, Stephen Clark Jr., Laureen Chesness, Leanne Kane, Nicholas Lamonaco. Any of those people are present? Please raise your hand. I don't see any of those people here. Andrew Castell, Adam Carvin, Jacob Brennan, M. Delgado, Tom Caruso. Andrew Castell, Adam Carvin, Jacob Brennan, M. Delgado, and Tom Caruso. I will ask that your name match what is on the name you registered with, or else we cannot identify you. I'm seeing a MD. I'm making a big assumption that this is M. Delgado, but I'm going to ask that you change your names on your screen to match how you registered, because that is how we will identify you. MD, go ahead. Please identify yourself.
Yes, I'm Delgado, and I can change that. So I agree with the previous patients who've stated having a card is holding less value, considering how much we pay to maintain our license. I do also agree that at a minimum, delivery services should be provided for all medical patients. Some of my concerns are the inconsistencies with physicians who require how often patients need to be seen, and they each are charging differently. I've had physicians require to see me quarterly and was charging a fee I just could not afford to pay. And I've had physicians who require to see me once a year. And this is just to keep the card active, not necessarily to see us for our illnesses. Although I've been in this program for quite some years now, I've seen the increase in available physicians, but it's still a very small amount when you take into account who's seeing new patients and for which covered illnesses. So just in summary, it's just a consistency across the board, the delivery options, and a broader range of physicians within the program.
Thank you so much for that. We certainly are working really as hard as we can, actually, to bring in healthcare providers. So if everybody's listening, ask yourself, when was the last time you raised with your doctor, your primary care physician, or your nurse? Ask them about their interest in enrolling in the medicinal cannabis regulatory, in the medicinal cannabis program. The more doctors we have, we'll be able to address Ms. Delgado's concern about availability. I wanted to raise for you that we have on our website a dispensary directory, which on the right side, you will see cannabis delivery services. So every dispensary in New Jersey is allowed to deliver. In addition to that, we have, as of now, 2 services that will deliver on the dispensary's behalf. If you go to their website, they will tell you which dispensaries they work with. So there are some delivery options available. If you have a favorite dispensary, please ask them if they deliver. Thank you so much, Ms. Delgado, for your participation this evening. Okay. Vanessa Rodriguez, Tamara Thaniel, Christiana Frankel, Carol Weisenberg, John Gills, Julie Foster, Vanessa Rodriguez, Tamara Thaniel, Christiana Frankel, Carol Weisenberg, John Gills, Julie Foster. If any of those people are present, please raise your hand. Okay, take the next batch. Rebecca McQueen, John Velazquez, Robert Marshall, Michael McGlynn, Jillian Keats, Kevin Womack, Rebecca McQueen, John Velazquez, Robert Marshall, Michael McGlynn, Jillian Keats, Kevin Womack. I see Jillian. Jillian, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. My name is Jillian. I'm calling here from Jersey City. I've been a patient for about 3 years, and I've been using marijuana medically for many, many years before that. I have a condition called endometriosis. I will let you do your own research on that, but basically what you need to know is it's a very painful condition for which there is no current cure. There's only treatment options, which include birth control or basically medication that will put you into menopause, which have their own side effects, or surgery, which has, I'm currently recovering from surgery, and that obviously has its own complications, costs, that incur. So marijuana is very important to me because it keeps me off of opiates. It keeps me off of NSAIDs, which, after a while will damage your liver, and it helps me maintain my lifestyle. Unfortunately, over the last 3 years, while I've been an official patient, I've noticed a pretty steep decline in the availability of products on the medical side of things. I've personally had a lot of issues with inventory and accessibility, issues with bud who cannot or will not transfer stock, even though I've been told that they are supposed to be able to transfer stock from the recreational side. And I know that it's also a matter that the rec side probably gets more stock at this point because it is more supply and demand. And I don't know if it's a matter of bud tenders not being trained in being able to transfer stock, or if it's just that the dispensaries themselves aren't willing to do it. But it's really unfortunate because for me, it's not just having the accessibility to the product, it's having specific products and having products which I know consistently help me, and having them taken away from me and put onto a side where I have to pay tax and go through another whole rigmarole just to access my medicine is very frustrating. And I have put in complaints both on the dispensary's personal websites and through CRC. I'm not unfortunately heard anything back. I'm not really sure what the process is for, putting in these complaints or what happens. But in my opinion, if it's just going to be like a fine or something like that, these companies are so huge. I'm not really sure a fine that they can easily just pay away is really going to change this. And the other thing that I just wanted to bring up is on the accessibility side, it's easy enough to speak to a bud tender in person about things like terpenes and grow dates and things like that. But unfortunately, this information is not really available on websites usually. And that's a really important thing for me because if I'm going to pre-order or something like that, I need to be able to know exactly what's in the product and what I'm going to be getting out of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jillian, for taking the time to talk with us today. So dispensaries that are registered as part of the medicinal cannabis program are required to have medicine available for their patients. If you are buying at a rec facility, that might not be the case, but somebody has your email and will follow up with you to find out exactly which dispensary you had the problem at.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Jillian.
Welcome.
Okay, I'm going to hop to the next group. Michael Spagnuolo. I'm sorry. That's Michelle Spagnuolo. Michelle Spagnuolo, I have a Jessica Lynn, I believe. Again, the name is not a full name. Jessica Michelle Spagnuolo, Caval Armar, Jorge Aguilan Ruiz, Exilia Vlachos. I'll read those again. There's a Jessica without a last name, but Jesslyn, maybe. Michelle Spagnuolo, Caval Parmar, Jorge Aguilon Ruiz, and Exilia Vlachos. Do not see any of those present. Francine D. Rod, Aaron Saunders, Adrian Spano Miller, Karen McCroy, Nathaniel Davis, Dave Marion. So that's Francine D. Rod, Aaron Saunders, Adrian Spano Miller, Karen McCroy, Nathaniel Davis, and Dave Marion. I see Jessica M. has joined us. Jessica, go ahead. Jessica?
Yes, good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to start by saying thank you to everybody who has commented on the conference this evening. I was told to really speak from the heart here, and that's what I'm truly going to try to do. I understand that marijuana is still extremely misunderstood. I've been fighting with everyone in my life since 2019 when I obtained my medical card. The truth is that marijuana has saved my life. I can't even explain what it has done for me. The best advice that I can give anyone for marijuana to get a better understanding and clarity of it is to watch a movie that came out in 2020 called The Marijuana Conspiracy. It helped me truly identify what was going on with my own body. They've told us repeatedly that everything starts from within. And this has been a crazy journey for me. I want to thank everybody that is participating in trying to make this an easy transition. But my main concern is educating the public, because I truly have been abused just for smelling like marijuana. And I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting with everyone. They truly did not teach us in anatomy and physiology what the effects of this drug did to our bodies, or what they lied to us about this drug. And I can't even express how painful this process had been for me over the last 6 years. I'm going to keep it there and say thank you guys for all participating. I hope everybody is truly, truly taking care of their own health. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. And I hope that your experiences with the medicinal cannabis program are helpful. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. There is a Stephen Rod, but there is a Francine who's registered. Please, I'm going to unmute you, but please identify yourself when you get on. There's a Stephen Rod on. I'm assuming it is Francine Rod. Go ahead.
Francine Rod. Thank you. I'm going to give a personal testimonial first in my 3 minutes, as the previous speaker did. I'm going to tell you that I'm 77 years old, and I'm telling everybody that for a reason, because I have suffered with acute insomnia, not acute, chronic insomnia since childhood. And over the years of trying to get sleep, I've gone to sleep clinics. I've taken many, many different prescription drugs. I practice what they call good sleep hygiene. And this went on and on and on for years, until a friend told me about the indica cannabis gummies. So I started in 2021, I started as a recreational customer, and I got the medical approval in 2022. And like the previous speaker, the gummies have totally changed my life. I am able to sleep. And as everybody knows, if you're not sleeping, you know, the quality of your life is so compromised. So I am so grateful for this program because it has truly changed my life. And I will advocate to anybody I can to keep these dispensaries on the up and up. I'm very lucky in Maplewood, New Jersey. I have a dispensary that is responsive. Most of the time, there are not supply issues. The cost of my edibles, it's not cheap, but I have found over the 3 years it's become more affordable than when I started, so I'm able to keep up. What I would wish in continuing the program is that the ID cards that the digital or the personal ID cards, I think the $20 is okay, but I would like to see it for more than 2 years. It would be so nice to have the ID for like at least 3 years. And I also wish the cost to get approved by a healthcare provider was less than my provider, who I've been working with these years, initially charged me $200 for my first consultation. And in the past 2 years, it's been $100, which I think is excessive for the 5 minutes they spend on a video call with me. So that's what I have to say. I will give you a compliment that I find your website is very user-friendly, so thank you for that. I've never had to use the consumer phone number. I don't know how that would be if I needed to call somebody. But again, I'm just, as a senior citizen who has had these years of sleeping issues, I am so grateful that I have found the Indica gummies that help me sleep almost every night. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Francine, for sharing that with us. And just so that you know, you can get a digital card now for $0 and 0 cents. It's totally free. And if you wanted a physical card, it's $10, not 20. As far as the doctor charges go, we can't have anything to do with that. However, legally speaking, a doctor could choose to see you in the course of your visit and not charge you for that. But that is up to each individual doctor.
Okay.
But thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Welcome. Thank you.
Amy is, we called her name earlier, but she's here. Go ahead, Amy. Amy? Amy Groom.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead, Amy.
Great, thank you. I'm going to share a little bit about my story as well. I started the program in August of 2018 to help manage anxiety. I had an even better outcome than I'd ever expected. I ended up quitting drinking alcohol altogether the following January. I'm healthier than I've ever been. Anxiety and depression, they come together side by side. It's a battle, so they often come together. And I just have to say I'm so grateful for the program because my anxiety and depression symptoms have decreased significantly since I started the program in 2018. And this enables me to live a more productive, healthier, and happy life. So, but I have concerns because I find the most effective way to consume cannabis for anxiety and depression is by smoking the flower. So my only concern is that I'm 44 years old. I don't want to develop lung problems due to the smoking every day, and I avoid vaping products due to the lack of research and historical data. So I also find that the edibles don't help as much for anxiety and depression. Um, so I think overall the physicians they're the ones that are signing us up for this. A physician spoke earlier, but I feel like, yeah, they do need more better guidelines to guide us. That's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy, for taking the time to chat with us today. Tom Caruso, go ahead. Tom Caruso, go ahead. Hello, Tom? Tom C, going once, going twice. Okay. If you're on your cell phone, you need to do *9, and to unmute it, *6. We'll come back to Tom in a minute.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. My microphone was hooked up to my work computer. I forgot to switch it over.
No problem. Go ahead, Tom.
I don't want to use up too much of my time, but I wanted to respond to Amy because I vape the flower, and if she's not familiar with that, you don't have to smoke it and combust it where you're breathing in the smoke. Most vaporizer products, portable or desktop, are able to vaporize the flower where you're only getting the vapor. You might cough from it, but there is no combustion and there is much less concern for your lungs. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. If you want, just Google vaping cannabis flower and you will find a ton of information and marketing. So I just wanted to let her know. If anyone has a question about that, feel free to reach out. But I wanted to speak about my experience with the medical market, if I may. The reason for which I use medical cannabis is not as serious as other speakers. So I don't have too much to talk about the specifics of it, but I will say, regarding my experience, the medical card, in my opinion, at least in my location in Toms River, is essentially a glorified reusable coupon. And it doesn't stack with other discounts at the dispensaries. So I used to travel about an hour round trip to Neptune for the medical menu, and you do get a discount. And I believe the tax is removed. But often I'd find that the strains available were less, sometimes half of the availability of the recreational. Now, I haven't been there in a while because two dispensaries opened up less than 10 minutes away from me. They are recreational only, but they do offer a medical discount. And that's why I said I feel like the medical card, at least in my area by the coast, is essentially just a coupon for me to access local recreational dispensaries. So I have a very different experience than some other people due to the availability.
Tom, I would like to ask.
Yes.
So at any dispensary that participates in the medicinal cannabis program does not charge state taxes for, well, whether you participate in the MCP or not, there is no state tax on medicinal cannabis products.
Yes.
So that is the primary benefit.
Yeah.
What could the MCP do to make you change your mind about the benefits of the MCP?
Well, if I had a more serious condition, I think I would be a little more um, energetic about it. It's hard for me to say because it's been a while since I've access that. I think just availability of dispensaries, um, like I said, the medical card for me, due to my area and the closest dispensary round trip is maybe 45 minutes, and you got to pay tolls. It's just not worth it because I'm paying the tax and the tolls to travel there anyway. So the recreational only is what I'm available. They're great places, and they do offer discounts if you are a medical user. However, the discounts don't stack. So essentially, I haven't really been able to use the medical card as it's intended. So I'm not sure what can be done. And I know I'm using up all my time here. I was actually just wondering real quick if this discussion includes growing home.
Well, as we said earlier, that is not outside our purview. That is a legislative matter. As the
Okay.
law stands right now, the
Okay. I'm sorry, I joined
cannabis
you.
right. No, that's no problem. I am happy to say it again because it is a question we get all the time.
Okay.
But the medicinal cannabis, the NJCRC does not have the jurisdiction to allow for home grow. That is a legislative matter.
I understand. Is there, I don't know if you get involved at all with it, but I believe every state where medical cannabis is legal, it is legal for them to grow. So I consider this to be a medicinal thing. And to delve into that a bit more, my biggest hobby is gardening, and it is very therapeutic for me to garden. Um, Now, I would actually like to grow this. That being said, I likely would not be using it because the dispensaries have access to much more cared for and potent strains. So this would be purely for a hobby. Do you know any way for which the medical community can um, not protest, but push this agenda a little bit further that medical patients should not be treated as criminals, especially not when it's so difficult to grow something that could even come close to what these commercial growers are able to achieve. It's purely just I think it would be a part of the therapy, to be honest. So is there any way that the medical community can help push this forward? Would you know?
Um, for the NJCRC, I did not, but that might be something you might want to reach out to your legislator about.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom, for taking your time to share your experience with us today. We really appreciate it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Um, Vanessa Rodriguez. Tamara Faniel. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I have gone back. I think I need to catch up. It's Mark Canavo. Mark Canavo, Anthony Boyle, Dave Marion, Alan McBride. That is Mark Canavo, Anthony Boyle, Dave Marion, Alan McBride. Mohammed, you are registered for later, but I'm going to let you go ahead. And Mohammed, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, you hear me?
I can hear you. Go right ahead.
All right, thanks for taking my call. This is a good topic. It's been long overdue. I agree with the previous caller when he was talking about regarding a homegrown. Jersey is a very expensive state. They charging us quite a lot, and my main concern is how people of African descent, African American specifically, have been tortured, have been falsely arrested, shot by the police. all in the name of, the officers using this as a prerequisite to to have them pulled over. And, and it what made Jersey pass this legislation. Ronald Rice passed away fighting and being a champion to help allow us to benefit from this marijuana big industry. And we not, benefiting at all from this industry. And it's unfortunate that the big guys is making a ton of money. I see the young man produces some stats earlier, but he failed to outline the real numbers of what it looked like. We continue to be disenfranchised. A lot of these marijuana dispensaries is not a network with nonprofit. I struggle as a nonprofit myself to feed individuals out here. I struggle to look out for the individuals who were formerly incarcerated, who also been accused of and served long sentences of marijuana, from marijuana charges, and they can't benefit from the structure or the business of marijuana whatsoever. So, what is the cannabis industry is doing about this? Just the application process alone is over $250,000. Could you elaborate more on that, dealing with the business side of it and what they doing to individuals who have been disenfranchised with the marijuana on charges and stuff like that? It hasn't even benefit whatsoever. And what has been put towards reentry individuals and individuals like little nonprofit like mine that's actually trying to help individuals get on their feet and stuff. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. And these virtual town halls, we are taking the time to speak to patients, healthcare providers, and caregivers specifically about the medicinal cannabis program. If there's a business concern, our next public meeting, for which you can register on our website, is on April 4th. Is it April 4th or April 3rd? April 3rd. I'm sorry about that. April 3rd is our next public meeting. Our website, which our PIO, Zara Pilieri, is going to share on our screen any minute now. There will be information on how to register for to speak at the next public meeting. But tonight, we just want to talk to our patients, our healthcare providers, and our caregivers about the medicinal cannabis program. Thank you so much. I see, oh my goodness, did Taylor Godfrey, our first name tonight, has just appeared. So Taylor, oh, where did Taylor go? Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Taylor.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead, Taylor.
All right, great, thank you. I guess I'd like to just start by thanking everybody who's participating tonight and willing to advocate on behalf of medical cannabis patients. I am a medical cannabis patient in New Jersey. I have fellow patients in my family, so this is an issue that directly affects me in a lot of ways. I'd like to begin by starting by clarifying where the CRC started about 4 years ago. The CRC was founded and created with the promise to protect and prioritize medical cannabis patients. It started with 120,000 patients and has now dwindled down to 60,000 approximately. With all due respect, I appreciate the job that the CRC is trying to do, but there's a proverb that goes, if you don't plan, plan to fail. And a guiding principle for me in life is knowing that the equation to success, that's only half of the equation to success. So if you don't plan, plan to fail, but plans mean nothing if you don't have the actions or ability to implement them. So I say that for the purpose of saying I applaud you in your attempts to try and help medical patients, but the results of the matter is you are adversely affecting medical patients in more ways than one. We could begin by talking about how prices have not come down since 2019 as promised. As someone said earlier, some of the statistics and data that you guys have been representing have been somewhat misleading. You're claiming that the price per gram for medical patients is about $9. But with all due respect, medical patients need a variety of strains to cover their illnesses and their wellness. So when they choose a variety of strains, they're paying on average $60 to $50 per eighth, which amounts to about $480 an ounce. So that's well above the $9 a gram that you're proclaiming is the actual statistic. There's a lot of accessibility issues. There's a lot of issues in general, but one of the main oversights that you failed to acknowledge in the medical program is to distinguish medical cannabis from adult use cannabis. So as I see it as a patient, you kind of nullified every reason I have to keep my medical card. There's really no incentive to do so. There's only two main reasons why I keep my card. I'd love to expand on what those two are, but in reality, there's no real purpose in keeping the card other than rights and reciprocity. So a lot can be done to improve the situation of patients in New Jersey. That really begins with
Taylor, you're about 20 seconds out, but let me ask
okay,
you, if you
Can
could tell
I
me
have one-
3 concrete things that we could do to improve the program, what would they be? 3 things.
Okay, absolutely. And please, if you don't mind, just extending my time just ever so briefly so I can explain those 3 things. The first would be conducting these patient meetings, town halls. This is a great step in the great step in the right direction. Having more of these would be beneficial to patients and the industry. Another thing that almost every patient has mentioned tonight is home grow. And there seems to be a misconception at the CRC that it's not in your purview of control or your power of authority. But with all due respect, as a medical patient, you are an embodied state entity. You were appointed by elected officials to be the source or the committee to provide viable information for them that they use to make legislation. So when the senators have bills like S1393, I believe, that relates to medical patient home grow, you are their first source of information that they would go to saying, can you please provide the statistics, the data, any recommendations that we can consider to implement this legislation? So you have a direct channel with the legislation and you respectfully are choosing to abstain from that conversation, which is nullifying the ability for patients to have affordable, accessible medicine. So you really are the front line or the gatekeeper of this home grow conversation. And there's a misconception that you don't have the power of authority to have those conversations. But I implore you that you do have the power and you effectually are the ones who communicate what regulations should be put in place and how the laws should be implemented in the state of New Jersey. So maybe the next time you're speaking with one of the senators who are issuing the bills, maybe you could just recommend or take a committee vote between the commissioner, like the board members, and see who openly supports medical cannabis home grow, and then make a recommendation by providing the data and the testimonies of the people here tonight to follow up and support and encourage the legislation to proceed in its appropriate channels. So I understand that it's not in your direct control, but you have the ability to influence progress.
Thank you, Taylor. Was that the only, or was that your 3?
Oh, I guess the third one would be, so I mentioned that the only reason why I keep my card is to patient rights, meaning I can consume my medicine anywhere in the state of New Jersey with that you can consume tobacco, but you need to address how hospitals and medical institutions are failing to adhere to New Jersey law. And I cannot consume my medical cannabis on site in a medical facility or else I'll be ejected or they won't cover my insurance. There's a lot of, there's a law in place, but it's not being enforced. So you need to look at how medical institutions can enforce those laws to protect medical patients. And also another thing that would help with accessibility is to look at reciprocity. So if we could communicate with Pennsylvania and shop in their legal markets or their legal medical markets, that would open the doors for a lot of people in our state who could find more affordable medicine, the exact same prices at the exact same brands at more affordable prices and better quality.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Tony Ann stepped away for just a moment. So I'm going to call the next 5 registered speakers. We've got, I'm sorry?
Yeah, I was sorry. I was trying to get an answer to the question, I guess, whether you do actually have the ability to communicate with legislators and make a recommendation for home grow for medical patients. Is that something that is within the ability of the CRC?
Taylor, so we do have the ability to speak with legislators, and we do that, and we do advocate for patients' rights and other things.
And where
And
could I find the data or information to support or substantiate those conversations?
that information is not available to the public until something happens. So what happens
yeah.
behind the scenes with the CRC and legislators, it's just like you talking to your legislator, we're talking to legislators advocating on behalf of patients and consumers. And that is your time, Taylor. Thank you so much. The next 5 registered speakers are Roberto Gonzalez, Madeline Marquez, Juan Taperi, Deborah Weavers, and Robert Wilt. If you are in the audience, raise your hand. Deborah Weavers, I see you, and you're up.
Right. Hi, everyone. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you fine, Deborah. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to make this brief. I know a lot of people have brought up a lot of great points, but mine might be a little bit different and very simple. But I know one thing that I find difficult is that we have to register for a specific dispensary to go to it. And I know if you decide to go to a different dispensary, then you have to go on the website and, you know, change the dispensary that's your primary dispensary. And I know for me, it would be a lot easier if we didn't have to do that. I know non-medical patients do not need to do that. And I'm assuming there's a reason why medical patients need to do that. But for me, it would be a lot easier if I didn't have to do that every time I decide to go to a different dispensary. The other thing is, I know priority, from what I understand, priority at the dispensaries that do serve both medical and recreational people, priority is supposed to be given to the medical patients. And I haven't found that at some of the dispensaries, where there was one that I went in and there was a line, you know, for recreational, and they were going in a lot faster than me. And when I finally was given, you know, the rights to go back, they had like 3 of the, I guess they call them bud tenders, helping the non-medical, and they only had 1 for the medical patients. And I find that really frustrating when I go and I have to wait, because, you know, like everybody else, you know, I'm in a lot of pain. You know, I have reasons that I need to do this, and to have to wait longer than necessary really is quite frustrating. And I think the other thing I had was, I know that medical patients are limited to 3 ounces per month, and it really depends upon what your doctor puts in for the quantity that you should have each month. But I know recreational patients are only limited to 1 ounce per transaction. And I wasn't quite sure why medical patients are limited so much more than recreational patients. So I think I stayed within my time. I was trying to speak quickly because I know a lot of people are still waiting to speak, but those really are the 3 things that I just wanted to mention, because everybody has already mentioned other things that I would have talked about, but it's already been mentioned. So I figured it probably doesn't make sense to talk about something that's already been spoken about.
Thank you so much, Debbie. I see you updated your name. So regarding complaints, there is a dedicated complaint form. So whenever you go into a medicinal cannabis dispensary, an ATC, if something happens that should not happen, we want you to file those complaints. Having those complaints in writing helps us to address the issue. One other thing you mentioned is your frustration with having to go into the portal to change your preferred dispensary every time you want to shop at one that is not your preferred dispensary. However, you can have the dispensary do the change for you once you're in that dispensary. So if if your preferred dispensary is A and you want to go to B, once you go into B, they can change that for you.
Oh, that's great information. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Any other? Oh goodness, I've lost my place. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to call those 5 again. Roberto Gonzalez, Madeline Marquez, Juan Taperi, Robert Wilt. Okay, not hearing those. Moving on to the next, we've got Theodore Hussey, Marilyn Desser, Shannon Hernandez, Margaret Hopkins, and Gaius Mansur. And I apologize if I'm butchering your names. Please do not take it personally. Again, those names, we've got Theodore Hussey, Marilyn Desir, Shannon Hernandez, Margaret Hopkins. If you're here, raise your hand. Seeing no raised hands, moving on to Amra Wacker. I'm sorry, that's funny. Roseline Angerville, Catrice Adams, Geraldine A. Carafin, and Bushana Bay. If you are here, raise your hand. Seeing no raised hands. Okay. We've got Amra Wakar, Rosalind Angraville, Catrice Adams, Geraldine Carafin, Mushana Bay. If you're in the audience, raise your hand. Seeing no raised hands. Moving on to Celia Hills, Dana Cassell, Leslie Ann Seal, Alex Burgess, Roxanne Graham. Celia Hills, Dana Cassell, Leslie Ann Seal, Alex Burgess, Roxanne Graham. If you are here, raise your hand. If you did not register to speak and you have something to say at this time, please raise your hand. Hands going once, going twice. No hands. Oh, wait. I see iPhone Deb. I am going to allow you to talk. I want you to tell us your full name for the record. Hello, Deb. On the...
Okay, I got there.
Okay, you got there. Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I just actually wanted to say thank you very much for running the program. I'm a patient. My mother had cancer, and while she was still here, she was a patient. I really greatly appreciate it. Because of the program, I've been able to get off of nearly all of my prescription medication. I feel a lot better. I'm functioning a lot better. And I just want to say I generally try to go to only cranberry breakwater, which is medical patients only. I didn't really enjoy my experience when I went to recreational / medical. I didn't feel like it was really professional or that the quality was really there. Breakwater, however, I've always felt like has been very professional, very courteous to medical patients, and they always provide amazing quality. And I just feel very confident using their products only, pretty much. But I just want to say thank you for the program.
Okay, thank you so much, Deb. Can you just please state your name for the
Yes.
record?
It's Deborah Jackson.
Thank you. This is the final opportunity to speak. If you are here and you want to say something, raise your hand. If not, we're going to go ahead and wrap. So we've got Terps. I am going to unmute you. I'm going to allow you to talk. Firstly, I want you to state your name for the record. And you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, my name's Hassan Fulton out of Burlington County, New Jersey. I've been not using cannabis medically for I don't know how many years, 30 something years now. Um, I forget the guy's name he was on earlier. It was the point I just wanted to make to him is that being out in other markets, as far as like Colorado, California, home growers got the best. So it's a myth that you can't grow just as good or better than the dispensaries. Because right now in these other markets, actually home grow is winning as far as like quality. And with that being said, that would actually make these guys step their game up because if you got quality at home, you know what I'm saying? Like it should be more of a free open market. Like I can go to the farmers market and get my vegetables. I can go to Whole Foods and pay a little bit more. Can also go to Walmart and get the same thing. You feel me? So it should be like the people should have a choice to do whatever they want to do, especially when it comes to cannabis. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all I had to say. But or as far as like homegrown wins as far as like quality because there's nothing you grow 2-3 plants, you show them way more love than somebody with 400. You're not worried about mildew too much, you're controlling the environment, everything is good, you're breathing on them, your dog's breathing on them, the CO2 is good. You know what I'm saying? Home grow wins all. So I just want to say thank you for letting me talk, and I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you. Peace.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank everyone for joining us this evening for our very first medicinal cannabis program town hall. The You can send us an email for concerns regarding compliance, crc.compliance@crc.nj.gov. There is also a complaints form for general complaints that can be found on the contact us page on our main website, which is nj.gov/cannabis. If you can take a screenshot of this, the QR codes, and press the QR code. The website should pop up. If you have a phone in your hand, you can simply scan the screen and it will take you to the various links. Thank you once again for joining us. My name is Christine Carr, and I'm a PIO at New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission. I will see you next time. Thank you.